Yes. Today I want to talk about the. We went to the camp, that the Reeducation camp. We have about 35 people in the one uh, household, and somehow, so 35 people. We have about three people with end up in mental hospital, and I want to talk about one of them, how he become a mentally ill. And so it's a very sad story. This guy, his nickname is, we call him a missile, because he's very smart. And he want to be an Einstein. He always want to be. He's excellent in the science, mathematics, physics, chemistry, everything on the top. And a very smart guy. And also work very hard. So he's the first one told us, he said that, we've been pulled out the closer school, but we still should study and to pursue your original dream. Like somebody want to be an engineer, somebody want to be a scientist, somebody want to be a doctor. He said that we still, doesn't matter right now, we are end up digging the dirt and working the farm, but eventually we will have a chance to go back to school and to pursue our original dream. He's the first one talk about that. So we will respect him and inspired, how that he keep and study and the science in such a remote area, and also the very horrible, harsh labor. And actually he did something, use his knowledge and work in they wanted to make a dam in the upstream, the river we have. And so he was helping them and to calculate the things, everything, it was amazing. And so we always ask him, I said, Missile, so what are we going to do? I said, especially we are the junior high school, just first year they shut down. So we don't know anything. We only learned 1 year in the high school, mathematics and physics, and basically it's no chemistry. And second year will start. So we don't know anything about it. So how do we can go back to school? He said, well, you have to get this a textbook. In my case, during the Cultural Revolution, and they burned everything, my brothers, the textbook, everything. So they have nothing. But I remember I was, that time I was joining the school's volleyball team. So I'm a youngest one in the team. So those bigger sisters, they are, I'm a class 68. So 68 is supposed to graduate from the junior high. So they have a class 66 to 67. So they all have a book. So I started writing to them, asking them to send me their textbook so I can study. So the whole village, this whole household, we all started, that become our extra work, after work. So we all try to discipline ourselves. I decided that, we started working probably when sunrise, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. So I had to get up every day about 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock and start to study. And I think one time I almost burned down my mosquito net because we don't have electricity or anything. We use a candle, so it's always burned down everything because but we never give up. So I started studying. But if any question I ask this guy, like mathematics also, he's very good. He would teach me. But the only thing, we don't have any lab. Let's say the chemistry, how do we can do? We have no lab and nothing, right? So that is still not learn much about it. So what's happened is 1973. So they started to say, they're going to reopen the school. And so we have a chance and to go to a college. I said, what college? You didn't even go to high school, right? Only 1 year. How can I go to college? It doesn't matter because time has passed by. You cannot go back to the high school. You had to go to college. And through the examination, so they will accept you. So you self-study, right? So at least finally we see some sunlight. Oh, we have a chance to go to the college. So we had to study hard. Doesn't matter what it takes, right? So we study harder and then prepare all the things. But it's very difficult for, the missile. They are 68 class for senior high. So at least they're 3 years. They learn more, three more years than us in the school. So they know much better. They only need to study 2 years, the course, and to take an examination. But we need 5 years of course. And I don't even think we're able to do it. But anyway, that's an opportunity we cannot miss. So we had to do everything, do our best to try. So finally, that day is coming. And first you had to be recommended by the peasants in the village. And they had to say you are re-educated, reform well, and you work hard, and you qualify to take examination. So that's the first thing. But it's limited, the numbers. So that's especially to people have a bad family background. I think I talk a lot about they, have a social class and divided, and your social status based on your parents' occupation. If your parents is a business owner, no, it means a class enemy. And so those class enemies children, and they only have about 1% of it, and able to have an opportunity to take an examination. And so let's say we have 1,100. So that means probably handful of they will give us to take an examination. So our household is they make as a model, so they make exemptions, give us more quarters and to go to examination. And so this guy, Missile, and me, and a couple of people, and they all let us to go. So unfortunately, on that examination, big day for us, and in the middle of the examination, and it had an earthquake. And we all sitting in the big storage room, and they put some tables. So we take the examination, and all of a sudden started shaking. So everybody just immediately evacuated from the building. And I didn't want to go because I don't think I have time to finish. I wanted to finish. Finally, I studied so hard. I do my best, and I don't want to give up this opportunity. So they say, you don't want to live. I say, I don't care. If I die, I still have to finish. So I did finish. I think the result was pretty good, too. I was very proud of myself. But the Shanghai Science and Technology University accepted me. And then the second procedure is they had to find out, investigated your background, which was everybody, like we all have in China, in the communist CCP control, everybody have a big file. And the file, because I'm just a young girl, I didn't do anything, right? And the file is my father, and what he did before the Mao took over, what kind of friend they have, what kind of business partner they have. And but he have a lot of people, they all escaped to Taiwan and Hong Kong and Japan, and some was America or something. So he had to write it down, everything, every person he associated with in his life, and not just your relative, your business partner, your friend, everybody. So those all go to my file. So they look at the file, they say I'm not qualified because I have so many people in my father's background. They are overseas, and that means cannot be trusted. In Western world or free world, so that's opposite of the communist country. So they didn't accept me. They also didn't accept the missile, because the missiles somehow he didn't have that much overseas relationship, but his father, I think the father is an engineer, but the they found out that his father's father is a landlord. Own some land before, because they all passed away. The father, the grandpa is long gone, but they found out that, and so they didn't accept him. And then another 3 people in my household, they didn't be accepted. And so that was a bigger hit on me. And big hit for these 5 people, because we've been, they just erased us. We abandoned us, so you cannot, never have a chance to go. And so that was pretty close to a Chinese New Year. And the rest of the people, and some of they participate, some of they didn't, but they all go back to Shanghai on that Chinese Year. I'm the only one there. This missile, he was working on the dam. So he was about 20 miles away from the village. So he was lived there. And so on the Chinese New Year's Eve, all by myself, and I look at I have nothing to eat because we ate lots of pumpkin, but on that day, we don't even have any pumpkin. So only some pumpkin leaves. So I get a couple of pumpkin leaves and to make a soup. So I was kind of sad because it's a Chinese New Year and I don't even have anything to eat. But I don't want to go back to Shanghai because I think I failed, and I make my parents disappointed because I said that I did do my best to get to the college to give them the good news. But I failed. I cannot deliver that. So I don't want to go back. And then when I'm cooking, all of a sudden the door opened and the missile come in with a chicken. And he said, I said, Chinese New Year's Eve today. He said, let's celebrate. Oh, I was so surprised. I said, how do you know I'm alone here? He said, the village, they just come in and to the den. They told me, and you were alone. Everybody left. So I think maybe I should come in, and I got a chicken. So I'm going to cook Western food. I said, really, what Western food? They said, you remember in our neighborhood have a restaurant called the Red House. It's a German restaurant. And I said, yes, I remember that. I had to be very good. I had to be the number one in the class. So my father took me once, and also my 10 years birthday, we will celebrate there. Only twice in my life in that Red House. He said that you remember they have a good dishes, roast chicken. I said, no, it's a roast duck. It's a duck with a red cabbage, a German food, actually Hungary style. And he said, yeah, but I don't have a duck, so we're going to eat a chicken. I said, how did you make it? He said, we can roast it. We can barbecue it, make a fire. And I said, what about the gravy? The important thing is the gravy. He said, oh, that's going to be tough. So, but we still can looking for maybe some corn and make a cornstarch, make the powder and cornstarch. Then, and maybe we have some those soy sauce. Because in Shanghai, the parents send us some soy sauce. It's not a liquid, it's like the 1 cube. So he said we can use that and then make a gravy. I said, well, that's a great idea. So anyway, we had the roast chicken, and I think it's the best chicken I ever had because I was so hungry. Also Chinese New Year, I still remember that. And so that after the dinner, he started talking, and he talking about. He said, I was thinking. He said, 5 of us, we should get together and suicide together. I said, what? Why you want to suicide together? He said, we'll make a scene. He said, this is so unjust. He said, if we suicide together, so we can, maybe call the attention. And so maybe for other people, they will let them go, like have a same bad family background. I said, no, don't do that. I said that because you suicide only make the people love you sad, and not the people hate you or they don't care about you. They don't care about anyway. He said, how do you know that? I say, yes, I did, because I have a godmother, and she was such a wonderful woman. She helping everybody, such a good Christian. And then they wanted to have a criticized meeting on her, so she couldn't bear it. So before the meeting, she committed suicide. And so people think, oh, wow, maybe next day will be the bigger hit. Everybody going to mourn her or anything. Well, you know what happened? Next day, and kids still play, and then the neighbors still fighting for where to hang their clothes, because they're all fighting for the space to hang the clothes dry. Even we don't have a dryer, so it's hang out by the sun, right? And everything just like before, like that person never exists, But the only people, her family, and I was already left, so my parents told me about her, and other people really mourning her in the heart because they don't even wanted to express, And I think I had to continue the story for next time. It's quite a long. Our time is up, all right?